So he just called, picked up the phone
Exactly.
and said, "Get your ass here." And I was there.
See, there are two things that this film needed. One was that it needed the nuance.
I think as people, as individuals, we need to give that little scope also. Puts a mirror in front of you and compels you to face yourself and something that you're otherwise uncomfortable.
Well, guys, welcome back on Teletucker. Shameless, the name suggests a lot, and I think a lot of people will think, okay, what is shameless? But then, for you, what is actually shameless?
I cannot speak before Sayani ma'am. Sayani ma'am, please go first.
So this is an example of being shameless. Hussain is the epitome of chalta firta murat of being shameless. And you will see many shades of how to be shameless. He's shamelessly humble. He's shamelessly always pulling my leg. He's shamelessly always insulting me in public. And many such things. So this is your lesson in how to be shameless. Over to
This
Hussain.
interview. But the film Shameless, since that was your question, is about... Shameless is about Sayani's abilities as an actor. It is about, all jokes aside, Shameless is basically about how shameless we are as a people, as we are growing up, as technology is enabling us to have better lives. Having a better life doesn't necessarily mean we're going to become better people. And my character is an entitled person who thinks nobody else's life or time matters. And Sayani's character is a person who is at the receiving end of this entitled person who the app promised a delivery in 15 minutes, but the Zaria is this character who has to now make the delivery, and the suffering that is caused mutually by each other to each other.
Wow.
I would actually say that it was such an apt description, but do you want to add something about, what he said about being shameless?
I dare not.
No.
I am not. I dare not. Okay. On that note, guys, I would love to know, because I saw the promo and I was like, okay, it's keeping me on the hook. It's giving me all these questions, but then still it's telling me, okay, what can I expect out of the film? So when you guys heard the script and when you were briefed, कि अच्छा ये कहानी है, ऐसा आप लोगों का character play out होगा, what was your instant reactions to it?
मैम मुझे तो हुसैन दलाल ने फोन किया और उन्होंने मुझे I mean, his wishes my command. So he just called, picked up the phone and said, "Get your ass here." And I was there and he said, "Meet Keith." And I met Keith and he said, "Do the film." And I did the film. So I was just following orders, you see.
Okay, what about you, Hussain? What was your first reaction when you were approached for the film?
I mean,
she was following orders.
No. I mean, all these jokes aside, I actually I read the script and I sort of heard it from Keith. I sort of felt that it was absolutely relevant, and important to tell this tale. And so I mean, Sayani is my friend, and she's just such a fantastic actor that I was like, shall we ask Sayani if she'll be available to do this and if she likes it? And it worked out, because she herself is busy all the time, and you know how schedules are. But the thing is, it worked out. See, there are two things that this film needed. One was that it needed the nuance as people, not only in the acting or in the writing, but nuance as people, and that we created, and we got a sort of a balance when Keith, myself, Sayani, we sort of jammed and made it happen.
In that note, I would love to know one thing here, because the characters are pretty relatable. The better the story is pretty relatable, because a lot of times people have done that. 15 minute likha hai, kyun nahi pahuncha, late hai to free delivery do. So have you experienced, or maybe have you ever done that kind of behavior with any delivery person? Kabhi aisa hua that you had this similar kind of situations?
Something happened during lockdown where I had ordered something from Dunzo, and it wasn't. It was food items, and it came wrapped in muck, कीचड़ लगा हुआ था सब खाने में, और bread में भी और cake के अंदर भी, पूरा कीचड़ था. So it was very funny when I opened it. I was like, how, so I go, obviously, my first reaction was, how is this possible? But then I realized that, these apps, of course, there is an algorithm, and there are, these are computer things, softwares and things like that. But the fact is that these are real people who are making this happen, right? Like my character in this film, for example.
Yes.
So people go through a lot of things. He didn't. I mean, it was raining. It was actually monsoons during lockdown last year, and I realized that he was scared and he didn't. He should have just told me that ऐसे हो गया है. उन्होंने नहीं बोला, दरवाजे के बाहर रख दिया था. And later when I spoke to you, I got to know that he slipped and it fell in the kitchen, and he picked it up and gave it to me. So it wasn't really his fault. Then of course I should have I could have blown my top or whatever. But I have to be honest, the first instance is a reaction, is like kyun nahi pahunchi, because
Yes.
I expected to be here. But having said that, I have realized that it's very, and I'm not saying I'm some amazing human being, but if you take, and I'm not, I'm extremely impatient in life and all of that, but I'm saying that even in spite of all of that, if you just take a minute and just think, yaar, actually मेरी गलती नहीं है. मतलब there are so many things that are beyond our control, अब उसकी बाइक की एक्सीडेंट हो गई है, वो क्या करेगा आदमी, अब मैं थोड़ी जाऊंगी बोलने के लिए कि अच्छा किसकी गलती है, but it's possible because it's not an app, it's not a bot that's doing it, it's real people, and people go through stuff, thoda sa, I think as people, as individuals, we need to give that little scope also. In spite of all of that, I think we need to be a little more empathetic towards the people who are serving us, because they actually make very little money doing this,
But before I jump to Hussain, but I would love to know here, Sayani, do you think कि इस movie के बाद that mindset would change? Do you feel that way now?
It will definitely make you feel a little ashamed, because it'll instantly make you, remember, things, instances where you might have been rude, even unknowingly. So, and I think that's the beauty of films, because a lot of times it just puts a mirror in front of you and compels you to face yourself, and something that you're otherwise uncomfortable in facing and in actually admitting, So I think this is such a film that, and it's also because it's not a preachy film. It's a really fun film. It's comedy. So I think when it's a preachy film and you're trying to say a very important thing, an issue, or addressing an issue, but if it's a preachy film, the audience alienates. But if it's said through comedy and in a fun way, and good humor in the writing and in performances, and this is a very, very quirky film like that, I think it has a home run, So hopefully it'll sort of make people ponder.
Know all about the Telly world by subscribing to Tellychucker's YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated to our new videos.